Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the Minister for advance side of his statement. Obviously, our immediate thoughts are with the workers involved and their families who are affected by this announcement, both directly and, of course, many thousands more who are indirectly affected. I'm aware that the Scottish Government is working to try, with the liquidator, to try and work on contingency plans, and I seek an assurance from him that he will assist the Scottish Government in those endeavours. But I also want to know, with regard to UK-funded projects in Scotland, what assurances he will give that those projects will continue in the light of the collapse of Carillion, and what assurances he can give to the workers involved that their jobs will be safe. The Scottish Government set about, since July last year, to try and manage the risk involved in these contracts, and really I think we have to ask that, given that the UK Government has, since last July, went on to award more than £2 billion worth of contracts to this company, in the light of it having 3 profit warnings, what due diligence has been undertaken by UK ministers? And is it incompetence, or is it in fact ideology that has led to a situation of ministers signing off multi-million-pound contracts to a company that was on the verge of going bust? It wasn't the employees, it wasn't the communities that depend on these contracts that awarded the contracts, and therefore I think it is for the government to intervene and pick up the pieces when something like this happens. Over the recent years, we've had similar things in Scotland. We had Tata Steel in Motherwell, Bifab Engineering in Fife and others, and the Scottish Government worked night and day to save those jobs, and it succeeded. I would welcome a similar commitment from the UK Government to make that effort to try and protect these jobs. Now, I would say in conclusion that there are many thousands of people who are worried today about whether they will have a job next week, and if they do, who will be paying their wages and whether their pension will be protected. So it is important, I think, that assurances are given and that safeguards will be in place, and there will be some joint venture projects where other companies can take over the contract. There may be some projects which can be easily transferred to another company, but there will also be some projects where the only solution will be to take the jobs and the project in-house and be directly managed by the government or its agencies. And I seek an assurance from the Minister that where those circumstances pertain, that is what the government will do in order to safeguard jobs and safeguard the services which these contracts provide.
Mr. Speaker, I thought the honourable gentleman, if I may say so, spoke to this issue with the seriousness that it deserved and in a constructive fashion. I can give him 2 assurances. First, that the government is certainly going to continue to pay the wages, salaries, as well as suppliers and subcontractors in respect of UK government contracts in Scotland in the same fashion as anywhere else in the United Kingdom. Secondly, yes, as I think I did say in my opening statement, Mr. Speaker, the government will be in discussions with the official receiver about the future provision of those services, and I believe that we will end up with a situation in which some are transferred to an alternative external contractor, but others are taken in-house by a government department or other agency of government. In terms of our contacts with the Scottish Government, there have been regular and constructive communications with the Scottish Government throughout the period that the UK Government has been monitoring the company, and our priority has been to maintain public and essential services in every part of the UK, whether those are the responsibility of UK Government departments or of devolved bodies. And my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for Scotland, spoke this morning to Keith Brown, MSP, the Cabinet Secretary in the Scottish Government for the Economy, and he's assured Mr Brown of the UK Government's determination to support the Scottish Government in responding to the concerns of pension stakeholders, of employees and of contractors in Scotland as well as everywhere else in the UK.